6'3", 275 pounds. You ran a 4.87 in the 40 at Oklahoma State's camp. You bench 325 and you've squatted over 500. So on paper, you've got the tools to be an effective lineman. But give me a scouting report. What do you do well? What are the strengths of your game?
My strengths would be my lateral movement, my quickness on my feet, and my hands, and finishing blocks.
One of your favorite players, maybe your favorite offensive lineman, Chance Womack, Tennessee Titans guard, used to play at Alabama. There are a lot of good linemen out there. What is it about him that you like? Why do you look up to Chance Womack?
I mean, he has the size. He has the same size as me pretty much. His weight, muscle weight, he moves with it, and he's aggressive. He does all his assignments to the best of his abilities, and he's just an athlete as a lineman. And you really don't see that too many times. You just see big slobs, but this guy's athletic, yeah.
Is there any similarity at all in the way you block and the way he blocks? Do you try to pattern what you do after him?
I do. I actually, I watched his film pretty much, and I found myself actually mocking his play.
There are offensive linemen and offensive line coaches who think you have to be mean in order to be effective as a blocker. Talking to your future offensive line coach, Dustin Fry, he said he doesn't know that that's really necessary. Obviously, you got to be aggressive and try to dominate the guy. Are you a mean player? What's your personality like when you suit up and play on Friday nights?
It's totally different from my personality. You might see me at school and think I'm a cool guy, but on Friday nights, it's nothing personal. It's just business. I mean, I'm tenacious on the field, I say.
Have you always been that way, or is that something you consciously tried to develop as you developed as a player?
Yeah, I had to develop that. These guys aren't out here smiling with you on Friday nights. You got to do the same thing they do to you. You got to beat them before they beat you.
A couple of years ago, you were playing defense. You were a defensive end.
Yes, sir.
And sometimes you hear a coach talk about an offensive player and say he brings a defensive mentality.
Yeah.
Is there such thing as bringing a defensive mentality, and do you have that? What would that mean for an offensive lineman if you have a defensive mentality?
I think the defensive mentality is the aggressiveness, actually. It brings aggression out of you, and the tenacious, the acts of you. I don't know, you just change the overall style of play. It's not like an offensive lineman, but I mean, after a while, you do have to incorporate offensive line skills.
Do you miss defense at all?
No, not really. I'm an offensive guy. I love it now.
Why? What's fun? What's enjoyable about being on the offensive side?
My ability to stop somebody else from doing what they want to do and knowing what to do before the play starts, actually.
All right, you chose SMU over offers from 5 other schools, including New Mexico, San Diego State, Texas Tech. Why? What were the key factors that went into your decision?
I had to say academics first, and then the direction of SMU's program. I couldn't pass that up. It was just like playing for your hometown. Nothing like that. I do it in high school, why not do it for the next 4 years while I'm playing at SMU?
Coach Fry is a very young coach. He's only 31 years old, and it wasn't that long ago that he was in an NFL uniform.
Yeah.
Did that resonate at all with you? Was that a factor, the fact that he not only played, but played very recently?
Yeah, it did. That mattered a lot. It shows that he knows more of what to expect out of these defenses coming up. He's seen it all. He's done it all. He had to do it himself. He had to be coached by somebody that knew the game. So he has a lot of knowledge, I'm saying, like to modern day defenses, you know.
Some guys travel hours away to get to college. You're about 15 minutes up the highway. And you said there's an interest in playing for your hometown.
It is.
Why? What is that, just to be near your family, or what is it about playing close to home that's important?
I don't know, it's like a sense of pride where you're from, you playing where you're from, the people around you. I don't know, I just love Texas and Dallas and the people around me.
Did your family lean on you at all, or put some pressure on you to try to stay closer to home? Because New Mexico, San Diego, even Texas Tech, not exactly down the street, a lot harder for them to get to see you play. Did they want you to stay close to home?
I don't think they really cared where I went. Of course, they pushed me to go into SMU because they wanted to see me play. They wanted me to be a part of something academic like that and have the next 40 years matter to me rather than the next 4 at some other football school. But I don't think they really would have cared if I went anywhere else, but SMU was a place they wanted me to go.
If you're a high school senior having a big year, you're going to get attention from colleges.
Yeah.
What made you pull the trigger and commit now rather than waiting until during or after your senior year?
There was really nothing for me to wait for. I mean, I knew what I wanted. waiting really didn't. I don't know what the point of waiting was, but I really wasn't interested in any more schools coming along. So I was pulled the trigger and made my decision.
A lot of people who pay attention to recruiting, including the coaches who do the recruiting, are concerned with size, height, weight. You're 6'3". Some people say that's sort of on the border as far as tackle. Do you see yourself playing tackle at the next level? Have they talked about sliding you inside? How do you expect to be used at SMU?
I mean, pretty much I know I'm going to be playing inside. I don't expect to play outside in any position unless my coach asks me to. But other than that, I know I'm going to be inside, so that's just something I need to work on, playing inside.
Have you ever played inside before?
Not in high school, I haven't.
What do you expect that transition to be like? I mean, obviously, okay, you haven't played inside, but you know guys who do.
Yeah.
What are the adjustments that you'll have to make sliding in if you go from tackle to guard?
I say I had to be worried about my inside more and just thinking schemes and defensive blitzes. Just worried about that stuff instead of worried about the outside. Now it's more inside.
You think you're done growing? Do you have any really tall parents, uncles, grandfathers?
No, I'm pretty much the biggest one in my family. I don't know if I'm done growing or not, but
Coach Fry said everybody loves game day. That's what you work for. He wants linemen who love all of college football, and that means the off season, that means the weight room, that means film study. How much do you love the parts of football other than games?
I mean, you got to treat it all like game day. It all matters at the end of the day. It's all going to the same purpose. So you got to take that as serious as a game on Friday night or when you're playing college ball.
So much of the attention goes to the skill position guys, the quarterbacks, the running backs, the guys who end up in the end zone with the ball.
Yeah.
They almost always acknowledge that they can't do their job if guys like you don't do yours and give them running lanes, keep them upright. What do you enjoy most about playing offensive line?
The success of my running back and quarterback. Most one rushing yards and it's that end zone, touchdowns, and them sevens on the board. That's it.